All right. So look, fam, we're not doing new year, new me. We're doing new year, new country options
That's right.
because the data is ugly and the policies are even uglier. Black unemployment hit 8.3 in November 2025. Meanwhile, Nikki, that's her name, Mickey, Jimmy,
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj is talking about we need to treat white women nicer, or at least black women need to treat, or just black people.
She said black women need to treat white women nicer. That's the one.
Y'all need to treat them.
Nicki Minaj had the audacity to get into the KKK rally called Turning Points USA. That's modern day KKK. All right, let's not get it twisted. She went up there as a non-FBA talking to Kirk slash supposed
Yeah, whatever.
widow slash beauty queen slash I don't know what else, talking to her, talking about we need to be nicer to white women. And when black unemployment moves up, what did she say about that? Because we know when black unemployment moves up, it often moves first and it hits us hardest. But she talking about we need to be nicer. Let this be your warning light. Let this be your warning light. So today we're connecting the dots. All right. We connecting them dots. We connecting them dots about economic pressure, about policy pressure, and the new era of lawfare that we have been dealing with since January 7th or so, 2025. This is where the language sounds neutral,
but
the damage is very targeted. All right. Y'all, especially those of you who do not understand how policy affects your Black life, listen closely. All right. Listen closely, because just because a policy sounds neutral does not mean that it is not lawfare. Okay. All right. True or false?
True or false? In Q3 of 2024, black workers were about twice as likely as white workers to be unemployed.
What's the date? Q3, quarter three, right?
2024.
So that's like what? July to September? Yes. That's Q3 2024. So right before the election, black workers were about twice as likely as white workers to be unemployed. True or false? Drop it in the chat. If you're watching from the future, hey. Let us know how the future is and let us know what you think. Is that true or false? And let us know where you're logging in from. All right? Why? Why?
So we are the utopians. We do not panic. We plan.
That's right.
We do paper trails. We read executive orders and we track regulations. We follow labor data.
That's right. We also follow the data.
And we've been living abroad for years, so this isn't fantasy talk. This is practical exit decisions.
And discussion. All right, y'all? All right. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about 2025 in review. What have we learned? What are the signals to say 2026 is your year of exodus? All right. It's your year to get the out. Babies, we do not have more time. Time is tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All right. All right. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But first, hey, y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel and life abroad. Even though it sounds like we're talking about politics, it's all interrelated. right?
Yeah, it's very interrelated.
So we help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early. All right, sweetheart.
Abroad ain't bad either.
No, abroad's not bad.
So what are we talking about today? We're talking about the five-step escape plan for Black Americans in 2026.
That's right. That's right. So the labor reality heading into 26 is going to be questionable. All right. We're going to talk about the heinous acts, the ledger, what the Trump administration, what the melon felon has been doing that hits Black Americans the hardest, and why this is lawfare. All right. We got to say it out loud. It's racism. It's racism, pure and simple. And then we're going to talk about, you got to stick around to the end because we're going to talk about the first 5 moves that you need to make to get out of Dodge, to leave America. All right. If you've already decided on a country, great. Now we're going to first 5 things you need to do. All right. Why are we doing that? Because we talked to somebody yesterday. Oh my gosh. Brilliant, brilliant couple who were overthinking everything. Okay. They were thinking 5-10 years down the line, what they need to do and blah, blah, whoop-de-whoop. And that is great. That's great because too often we live in the here and now. But for today, we're going to talk about what we need to do tomorrow, next week, next month, and 3 months down the line so that we can make sure that what the melon felon is doing right now, we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to talk about Venezuela. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj. We're going to talk about all this BS. As I get whatever's in my eye out my eye, right? We're going to talk about all of that so that you can be prepared to take action. I'm sorry, y'all, to take action and to make sure that you can get out as soon as you need to get out,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
All right. All right. But first, if you're new to our channel, you might not know. Well, back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all. Whew. We looked at our retirement fund such that it looked crazy.
Crazy. It was crazy. Crazy. Shout out to Robert Taylor.
Not Robert Taylor. Robert Terry.
Robert Terry. Taylor.
He said yesterday he was going to give Robert Terry
I
a
even
shout out.
practiced it. Can you believe that? I practiced it.
And then he said Taylor. Yes, it did look crazy, but we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Y'all, if we can do that,
you can do it too.
Y'all can do it too. You see how goofy we are? Y'all can do it too, okay? So if any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe. All right? What we talk about here is not only money, travel, and life abroad, but we bring in the U.S. and political influences on how this is going to affect our lives, both in our home countries and abroad. All right. So hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video, and hit that like. Smash that like. So that YouTube knows that this is information that needs to be shared with our community. All right, we're going to say hello to the folks who are in the chat, but first we're going to go ahead and get started with the first part. Here's the reality, folks. Let's start with the numbers that should change your 2026 plans, all right? Because Black unemployment is at 8.3%. 8.3%. That is double what it was in November 2025 for white folks, all right? Mm-hmm. We also saw a clear rise mid-2025. We saw a clear rise as soon as the melon felon took office. And I don't care who he fires, what attorney generals he fires, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all right? The numbers are the numbers. And he can cook the books all he wants. But we know what's up. We know what's up. All right. So it was up 6.2%. It was at 6.2% right around the time that he got elected into Q1 2025. All right. It went up 6.7% by the summer. With a calculator, you can do the math, y'all. Y'all can do the math. That's a 33% increase in Black unemployment. But Nicki fucking Minaj wants you to think it's because Black women need to start treating white women better. Really? The 33% increase in Black unemployment is because we're not treating white women nice enough. In serio. I
I agree with you.
In serio. Nikki, you should be able to understand that. Isn't she like Afro-Latina? I don't know. She from the islands, y'all. That's all I know. She from the islands. And the structural pattern did not disappear even when the overall economy looked okay. All right. So we know both under Democrats and Republicans that Black unemployment has always been higher than our counterparts. We know that. But damn, right? Because Q3 of 2024, the black and white unemployment ratio was 2-to-1, 50% higher, right? Translation that if you are Black, the soft landing is much, much harder. The recovery takes longer, right? And the margin for error is much thinner. Okay?
It truly is.
All right.
Okay, now let's talk about why this isn't just the economy. It's policy, it's enforcement, it's who gets protected and who gets sacrificed.
I'm sorry, it's who gets protected.
Who gets protected.
And who gets sacrificed.
Who gets cooked.
Right? Right. All right. Let's connect these dots. Let's connect these dots because some people say, I don't do politics. I don't do politics. Well, politics is going to damn well do you.
It sure will bend you over.
Do you. There is nothing in life. Nothing. Name something that is not political. Name something. If you're in the chat, name something right now. I'm going down. Name something right now that is not political. Name something, because I will debunk it. I will debunk it. I don't care. Love is political. Who you are able to legally love and marry is political. All right. Food is political. Clothing is political. Healthcare is political. Education is political. Whether you are allowed to be CEO or not is political. It's all political. Who is allowed to invest? Who is allowed to own? Why? What? Who? Where? What are the qualifications? All of that is political, y'all. It's all political. The clothes that you wear.
And where you wear them.
And how do you get to wear them and how much do they cost? It's all politics. Everything is politics. The sooner you are able to realize that, the better off you will be. Okay? The better off you will be. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not, right? There is nothing that is not political. Nothing. Even art is political. Art should damn well be political. Because why do you think they're trying to get rid of art, y'all? Why do you think the Mellon Felon took over the Kennedy Center? Because art creates political movements and documents political movements. We learn who a civilization was through the art that is left over, be it written word, right? Be it sculpture, be it paintings. We learn about ancient civilizations and other civilizations through their art. This is by design, y'all. The erasure of African American, of Black American history and art and contributions is by design. Can you imagine a world 100 years from now that doesn't even know how all of this got done? They don't even know that it was us from the diaspora who did this shit, who created rock and roll, who created modern pop, right? And who created a lot of scientific innovations that we do not get credit for. Imagine everything is political, y'all. All right? Everything. So as we look at the civil rights rollbacks that look neutral on paper in 2025, now let's get it straight. The melon felon only got one piece of legislation passed in all of 2025, and yet he has effed up the United States to a point of no return. And we allowed it. You allowed it. You, who's watching right now, you allowed it. I allowed it. We allowed it. We allowed it because legislation was not passed. He just said, and it was done. And he did it. And no one fought back. And when they did fight back, they didn't fight back hard enough because there's no way on God's green earth that any of this shit should be going on right now. Any of it. One of the cleanest examples of lawfare is when the DOJ, the Department of Justice, changed its title regulations to remove disparate impact enforcement. So what does that mean? That means if a federally funded program that is supposedly neutral, all right, did something that consistently harmed a group of people, i.e. us, Black folks, right, there was a path to challenge it. If a policy had an inverse effect on a specific group of people, there was a process to challenge it. That shit gone. Is gone. Now, the Department of Justice is saying there's a narrower lane focusing on intent. Well, I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
Not outcome.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
That's like if you cause a car accident, you could get away with it not paying it because it wasn't your intent to hit that car. It just happened.
Repeat that. Repeat that.
It's like being in a car accident. You could get away with it because, you didn't mean to do it. There was no intent on doing it. It just happened.
I'm sorry. Really? That's how we gonna roll. Well, I didn't intend to do it. I didn't intend for all them kids to die when I stopped doing X, Y, Z. This is the United States that y'all are living in right now. And y'all are okay with that. And you're like, oh, well, maybe like in 2028, 2029, y'all, you do not have that much time. And let's be very clear. Racism rarely confesses intent. Racism rarely confesses intent. Should it be on the letterhead? What we talking about? It hides in policy. It hides in risk models.
Hides in audits.
Right? Let's create a committee to talk about if this needs to be studied more. Like Hakeem Jeff, we gonna get a committee and write a strongly worded letter to talk about how we gonna do such and so, how we gonna study if this has a desperate impact on this community. We already can tell you we're hungry, we're starving. We are not getting our fair shake. We are dying out here. And y'all want to form a committee. Y'all want to do a study. You don't need to do a study. All you got to do is turn on the lights and look around. But no, because too many of us are doing okay. Too many of us are doing okay. All right? So instead of efficiency, we get fraud. You know something? You know something is very wrong when the government and when Black folks have to pass a law to allow Black folks to wear their hair in a manner in which God created it to come out of our skulls. We had to create legislation to allow us to go to work without persecution, to allow us, I don't know, to be on maybe a wrestling team with dreadlocks without some white MF coming and cutting off our hair. We had to do legislation. But Nicki Minaj wants to talk about, can't we just treat white women more nicely? Can't they just let us wear our hair without touching it the way we want to and go to work and do our damn jobs? How about that? How about that? All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's called the Crown Act. Look it up. Do a Google. Let's talk about what they did to the federal workforce in 2025. All right. Because discrimination, civil service, accountability is called purge mechanics. Purge mechanics.
The administration, they moved quickly on civil service accountability. Changes including a return to schedule style logic, making it easier to reclassify, remove career staff.
That's right. That's right. Right? So these changes made it easier to fire us.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Why is this a Black issue? Why is this a Black issue?
Because the federal workforce has been one of the most reliable pathways into the middle class for Black workers for generations.
That's right.
Come on now.
Right? So when you create a system that makes firing easier for the federal workforce, you are not just reforming government, you are destabilizing a core economic ladder for us. That is not by accident, y'all.
No.
That was by design. That was by design. All right. We're going to take a break here and we're going to say hello to the folks who are in the chat. Y'all, I'm on a roll tonight. And I think you know that. I think you know that. Hey, True Judah, long time no see. I haven't received any Baby, let me tell you something. We purge our email list monthly. If you have not truly opened an email, you're going to get purged. I don't know if this is you, True Judah. I don't know. And if it's not, I apologize. Oh, you're formerly 3D. Okay. All right. Hey, A Better Life. Good evening. Rick and Halisi, good afternoon to the chat. Let's get this money so you can get out in peace and prosperity. I heard it. Hey, Peggy.
Hey, Peggy.
Oh, Peggy's about to move to Panama. So good. When asked about Venezuela, I said it's important to continue my life. That's right. That's right. We know that Panama is about 3 countries away, or 2, depending upon the flight pattern, from Venezuela. But they are much different countries, y'all. They're much different countries. Okay. Venezuela is not a democracy as we understand it today. Hey, Badia, good to see you. Paula Washington is in the house. Greetings, family. Let's take a deep breath and continue on and stay on task. Hey, Allison. See, these are all the members, y'all. We started this conversation. This is why I'm so worked up. This is what happens, y'all.
See what the membership does?
Yep, this is the members, our Black Utopia members, right? We meet before we go live, all right? And we start talking about the stuff. And they were talking about Nicki Minaj, and they were talking about what's going on in Venezuela, right? And I was telling them about my tutor, who y'all know is born and raised and lives in Venezuela. And I am very, 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 very concerned about her and her family who live in Caracas. Walking distance from the Capitol and all of those bombings. Y'all, these are real people. This is not like on the other side of the earth. These are real people, real families. Yeah. Right? I don't see as many people up in arms about Venezuela as they were about Gaza. And I think that we need to be just as up in arms, not to compare tragedies, but we need to treat each tragedy as a tragedy, right, Ailey? Hey, Shanora, good to see you in the house. Beverly Kyer is in the house. Hey, Pacific Northwest. And Peggy is in the house. We've got Dr. James. Yakota is in the house. Judith and Greta Cobb. And we got Christina, the Luxury Bucket List, and MSCYN. New member? Or you're just now chiming in. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey,
CK.
Hey, CK.
Member for 8 months. 8 months. She wants to let folks know. Okay. And you can know you also can know, see, we can't tell from within StreamYard, but our Sankofa bird changes the longer you are a member. So you might recognize it that way, right? Maritine Monique, Martine. I was about to say Martine Monique. Martine Monique is an area here in Lisbon. Hey, Bruce and Jan Wig and Christine 6104. Tammy Britton's in the house. DW Parasani. Okay. All right, y'all. We see you guys. Tashika, Greta Cobb. We see you. And we love you. We love you. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, because we want to talk about why this is so important. And we're basically what we're doing is going over all of the bullshit that happened in 2025, because we need to light a fire under you. We need to light a fire. 2026 is your year to get out of Dodge. If you need help in getting out by the end of the year, we can help you. We can help you. We can show you a way that you might not have thought of. All right? That you might not have thought of. If Robert T is in the house and his wife, let them know how we can help you come up with ideas that you might not have thought of. All right. In the meantime, in between time, let us remind you that the anti-DEI state policy is not just a culture war, y'all. All right. These early executive actions, this targeted DEI, targeted affirmative action nonsense, this is affecting infrastructure across public and private sectors with real employment consequences. This is what we mean when we say lawfare, all right? It may be framed as merit and merit-based, right? But it strips the exact tools used to measure and stop discrimination.
Yes, it does.
And it is all by design. We're not fools. We are not fools when it comes to this. All right. What are you guys talking about in the chat? We're going to talk about that. And this is not what we need. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Give us a second here. This is what I need to do, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Wait.
Didn't go in.
Where did it go? One sec, y'all.
It's going to be too long.
I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, I got it. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know. Let's see. We're going down to the bottom. Going to the bottom. Into the top. 2026 is the year of war, they said. Oh my God. Who said that? I think they will bring back the draft. I know that this is in Project 2025. She's absolutely, Tammy, you are absolutely, I know the draft was in 2025. That I do know. So what do y'all think? Business Help Guru says, hi, y'all. Robert and Janelle T are definitely here. Booked an amazing call that changed our trajectory.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Robert and Janelle T. I can't even tell you, Janelle, when I looked at, you were like, yeah, so my last name is this and that. And when I re-looked at it, I was like, oh, yeah, duh. All right. Kim says, what about Trump saying he wants to deport 300,000 Haitians? Y'all, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Here's the thing, y'all. It's really easy to talk about them, especially for we quote unquote FBAs, the folks who have been here and didn't immigrate in the last generation, right? The folks who have been here, whose ancestors were enslaved. It's really, really easy for us to say that's them. But the reality is that they cannot tell the difference between us and them. I remember when I was walking around a neighborhood with my real estate agent way back in the day in Denver. And I was like, oh, so this is a Ethiopian neighborhood. And she's like, I don't know. How do you know that? And I said, well, look at them in the yard over there and look at them over there. She's like, well, how can you tell they're Ethiopian? I said, look at them. She could not tell the difference. Okay. She could not tell the difference between us and them, but we know the difference, don't we? The problem is the power people, the people who want to kill us, do not know the difference. The people who want to eliminate all of our support systems, that is, other people from the diaspora who could stand in agreement with us, they want to eliminate them and divide them from us and conquer, right? That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They don't know the difference between you. You're looking mighty Haitian to me. You're looking mighty Haitian to me. All right. This is off topic. And so we will answer it at the end. And I just started so that we don't forget. I put a star next to it so that we don't forget my wife. And I definitely want a way out. It's just harder for us because we have 2 kids and we're surviving off of VA in racist Alabama. Sorry, y'all live in Alabama. It's hard to get a job. The 2 kids are not an issue, unless you're saying the 2 kids because y'all got, there's a higher cost of living. But I think our kids need to leave the United States as soon as possible. And I've seen American kids over here who've been here for a minute or two. Oh my God, they are so self-assured without being assholes about it. Okay, because that's not really self-assurance, right? That's that American BS, right? But that's a self-assurance that does not need to be demonstrative, that is just shown in how they talk to adults, right, etc. I'm telling y'all, the Black kids who live here, who have American parents, but they've been here for a minute, like over a year or 2 or 3, and they're in the system and and going to school and getting this international experience, they have a grip, a self-confidence that I have not seen en masse in our kids in the United States. I'm just saying. Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Let me go ahead and let's get this up.
Scholarship Fund Love.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. All right. So we 100% of our donations goes to our scholarship fund, y'all. Y'all know that. Okay. It goes to our scholarship fund. And we have given away just since like the holidays, like Thanksgiving to now, about 15 scholarships. I'm not sure if everybody's accepted, but that's what we've given away. So I've got to go back and look. If you need a scholarship, the scholarships are for Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers, just like ourselves. All right. It comes with monthly group coaching. The next group coaching is next Saturday. So yeah, we will not be in London by that point. And then the week after that, Side Hustle Challenge starts. So if you want to be in on that, there's no scholarships for the Side Hustle Challenge. Sorry about that, y'all. But, oh my gosh, Greta.
Oh, Greta, thank you.
That's so sweet.
That helps a lot of someone.
Right? Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. $99, $19. Every dollar counts. And we thank you so, 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 so much. For all of you who do not know, Greta Cobb has been, she's one of the OGs. All right. She has volunteered and helped our Black Utopia so, so much. Thank you. 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 I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. And then, of course, we've got Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
2026 is the warmonger stage, right? We haven't even talked about the shit they're doing in Nigeria right now. Nigeria, y'all. All right. Dennis says it'll be the peak and worst of this regime. I believe so, because I believe that they do not want to allow the 2026 midterms to happen. And if they can say that the United States is in a state of war and we need to postpone this election, that's his goal. He already said it when he had the MS-13 warmonger slash dictator, the coolest dictator in the world from El Salvador. That's when it was when he had the Ukrainian president who said they haven't had elections because they're in war. He's like, oh, you can postpone a war because you're in election. Remember that. He said that in front of the cameras and everybody, right? Then it says this and the economy and Epstein, these thugs will be even less popular heading into the midterms. How are we as a future Black expats going to maneuver under these changing conditions? And so I will tell you, Dennis, what I tell everyone and what we have been saying is that we must remain nimble. We must remain nimble, especially financially nimble. Okay. What does that mean? That means we need to have not spending money on bullshit. Seriously, y'all. Keeping enough money that we can make moves at the drop of a dime. Okay. If something popped off and we needed to get out of this apartment in the next 15 to 20 days, Rick and I have the financial resources to do that and to leave the country and to go to another country, be it back to the United States, to Mexico, which is our second home, which we have permanent residency, right? Or Southeast Asia, wherever it is on the planet, we have the resources to make that happen. And you need to have the resources to get out of Dodge. Maybe not to the other side of the world, but that's one of the reasons why we stopped saying we're trying to buy a building here, because once the Mellon felon got elected, it's like, okay, so Western civilization as we know it is over. It's over. We've told you that, right? It's over. The United States as we have known it is over. Period. The end. So what we need to do is look at our stock portfolio and start investing more into stocks that are part of BRIC nations and or I would say south of the hemisphere, but not totally yet, but international. Okay, we need to be looking at international stocks. And I would be looking at stocks and companies that are housed in the BRIC nations. Okay. If you need more help with that, we can help you one-on-one, or you can just join Better Investing, which is a nonprofit that we have. The only affiliation is that we members too. We don't get no cutback. We don't get no kickback, nothing, because it's a nonprofit. All right. Better Investing. And that's where you can learn about other companies and how to study stock. All right. These are the things that we need to do to remain nimble in these uncertain times. Some people are buying gold and silver. And I My only thing with gold and silver is how do you carry it around? How do you carry enough of it around?
Where do you store it? Yeah.
And where do you store it? Like, I suppose if we were cajillionaires, I would have this figured out. But otherwise, I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. And so for right now, we are depending upon the systems that exist and making sure that we remain nimble enough that even when the fit hits the sham, we've got enough leeway and time to figure stuff out. Okay. Even with the diminishing value of the dollar. Even with the diminishing value of the dollar. So what does that mean? That means that we need to live way below our means. Not struggle, because that's not sustainable. That's just not sustainable. But what I'm saying is that instead of going out every night, if you want to meet up with folks, let's have a potluck. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. That means still traveling, but we're not staying on the all-inclusive resort, right? We're staying at the Airbnb and maybe we're cooking some of our meals. That's what I'm talking about. We've got to be strategic. Life without pleasure is not a life worth living as far as I'm concerned. I'm not into that struggle life. Like if it came to the apocalypse and we're talking about The Walking Dead, one of your favorite shows, I'm not the one. I am not the one. I am not about that life. I am not about in the survival mode or the bunkers and all of this bullshit. Put me at the epicenter and let me die. But in the meantime, in between time, while there's still pleasurable experiences to be had on this earth, let's do the damn thing. Let's do the damn thing. All right, we're going to move on and then we will get back to the folks who are in the chat. You know the deal. Put a Q in front of your question or comment. Let's talk about the immigration enforcement that has been going on, right? Let's talk about that and why we should be paying attention. We just talked about Haiti, right?
Yeah. On day one, the administration signed an immigration order framed as protecting against invasion.
Who in the hell is invading
They said
America?
we was being invaded from South America or some shit.
Right? People with, what did he say? Cantaloupe calves and they're rapists and they're murderers and they're bringing in their worst and all of that. They're bringing in their worst. They're bringing in their worst.
Sending caravans up the highway through South America and Mexico.
They are bringing in their worst. But we've got a 34-count felon in the White House having the audacity to talk about what other folks doing. You are an adjudicated rapist, dude. What the hell?
And kidnapper.
Right. And now he's a kidnapper. I want a perp walk, y'all. I want to see a perp walk with all of these MFs. I know that Venezuela needs change. We've already talked about that. Y'all know that my tutor lives there with her family. I understand as well as a foreigner can the implications and the culture of Venezuela from a Black woman's point of view. And yet, we've got money to kidnap someone, but we do not have money to make sure that children have meals every day at school. Let's ponder that for a minute, shall we?
I say allegedly kidnapper?
No, he ain't allegedly. He kidnapped MF. He kidnapped him. That's what he did. He abducted, kidnapped, whatever legal thing that means kidnap, that's what the hell he did. That's what he did. So, right? Then we see the enforcement machine scale up, right? Reporting describes ICE pursuing a wartime recruitment push, right? Big hiring bonuses, elimination of their student debt, and at the same time, eliminating our income-based repayment plans. But as long as you will be part of the Gestapo,
hey, it's okay.
Picking up innocent people, detaining innocent people, you can get your student loans dismissed. But if you stand for goodness, if you stand for the rule of law, nah, not for you.
I don't think most of those people have student loans.
I bet you some of them do.
Some of them.
Right?
I said most of them.
I bet you some of them do from some private so-called higher education institution that probably got debunked or is probably going out of business as we speak.
They probably want to dump university.
Right? Exactly. Dump university. That's right. Right? They got big hiring bonuses to expand deportation capacity. Right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the rollbacks have been part of the pattern, with lawsuits challenging these moves, including allegations of racial discrimination in some cases. It is out of control.
Yeah.
Why does this matter? Why does the whole immigration matter to those of us who are born in the United States? Because when government normalizes emergency powers, that's what he's using to kidnap the president of Venezuela, emergency powers. To bomb boats of fishermen, emergency powers. To deport innocent folks, emergency powers, right? When they use that against one group, those tools can be reused against you. You, FBA, you, righteous white folks, you, righteous POCs, against you. That's right. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Right? The surveillance that's going on.
Raids.
Right?
Databases they got on people. Workplace enforcement.
The target can shift, and it can shift fast, y'all. All right? It can shift fast. So we've also seen government action and rhetoric blended together, like the child care funding freeze fight, right, in Minnesota, where Trump publicly pointed at Somali immigrants and singled out elected officials. Now, there have been mixed reports on what is going on in Minnesota with these Somalis in these child care centers. I've seen some folks saying, oh, they ain't a lot of shit. And then I've seen other folks saying, yeah, no, that's been debunked. Either way it goes, you cannot let, the government should not be using isolated incidents to make policy around all of us, right? And again, you look a little Somali to me.
Yeah.
Because the powers that be do not know the difference between a Somali, Eritrean, Ethiopian, Ghanaian, Nigerian, or Black American, or Jamaican, or Dominican. They don't know the difference.
You don't look like them.
Exactly.
That's what makes a difference.
I grew up with everybody saying, you look like you come from the islands. You look mixed, and all that nonsense. All right? That's our own people. That's our own people. So what do you think that they are saying? Right? Whether people call it racist, whether people call it dog whistles, the practical effects are the same, y'all. And this is what we were dealing with in 2025, which is why 2026 needs to be your year of Exodus. It needs to be your year of Exodus, right? Because all of this marks our communities. It justifies punishment. Punishment in politics, punishment in deeds, punishment in acts. And it trains the base, their base, to cheer it on. And that's what they've been doing, right? That's what they've been doing. All right, we're going to talk, before we get to the 5 steps that you need, we're going to go through all of the bullshit that have been going on since 2025 through 2025. And then we'll get to your questions. And then we will get to the 5 things that you've got to do to make sure you are on the track to getting out of Dodge. All right. I want to talk about these interlaw violations.
International law violations, yeah.
Right? Especially what happened in the last few days in Venezuela. And just to be clear.
Last night.
Was that last night? I thought it was the night before last. It wasn't the night before last.
To me, no, it was the night before last. He got into the United States, and I saw
this morning, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The 34 count felon he's no longer even pretending to respect the Constitution or international laws.
He thumbed his nose up at Congress.
Right?
He didn't even talk to. He didn't even warn them. He didn't even tell them anything.
Right? I mean, just the other day.
Matter of fact, he said that Congress has too many leaks, and we don't want to have any leakers. So him and that idiot Secretary of State, dry mouth Marco, who needs to learn how to drink water from a glass. He looked like the biggest idiot standing next to him because all he does is suck up.
Marco Rubio.
Grow some balls, Marco.
Marco Rubio has had a hard-on for getting oil and for Venezuela for a long time now. And I don't get, because he's Cuban.
He's Cuban. He wants them to go into Cuba. These are the people that are running our government.
I don't like, this is the thing, y'all, because we Black, right? Can we talk? Can we talk? Now, you know, Big Mama always said, that ain't none of your business, baby. Get your own stuff in order first, right? That's what Big Mama always said, right? my Big Mama would say, that's they to do. That's her to do. In other words, that's her business. That's they business. That's his business. That's not your to do. Right? That ain't your to do. What is happening in Cuba is not our to do. What's happening in Venezuela is not our to do. We don't even have our own house clean, but we trying to go over there and tell them about their business? In serio, that's what we about to do. And you want my tax dollars, my precious tax dollars that cannot be given to folks who need health care, that cannot be given to kids who want some lunch, some food in their bellies, that cannot be given for special needs kids who need special stuff at school. My tax dollars can't go for that because they got to go to kidnap a president
of a sovereign nation,
of another nation, unprovoked.
Come on.
This is what we're doing right now.
Come on now.
This is what we're doing.
Threatening other nations. Other nations.
This is why I don't live in the United States anymore. Because I don't want my tax dollars going for that bullshit. That's what I don't want, because that's some bullshit. That's what it is, some bullshit. What about your tax dollars? No? Some bullshit. That's what it is, right? I know Maduro. Look, I'm not saying Maduro was a good president.
He's an asshole.
He was a fuck up. He put his sister-in-law and created the Ministry of Happiness. Okay, I know these things because my tutor lives in Venezuela and she told me all of the stuff. Literally, he created the Ministry of Happiness and put like his sister-in-law in charge of it with a big, obviously salary. So I'm not here to defend Maduro.
Hell no.
By any stretch of the imagination. I really, my tutor really wants a better Venezuela for all Venezuelans. Okay, whatever that looks like. I know that's what she wants. But that's not our to do. That's they to do. Right? That's they to do. Because without due process, without an extradition framework, without respect for sovereign immunity, and without a plan to fix what they broke, this is just extrajudicial seizure of a head of state, and it is illegal. And so for the 98 million that thought it was cool not to vote, I can't vote for that Black woman, and they all the same and all this other stuff, and for the right, and for the other folks who thought it was cool to vote for the third parties, right? Every single Venezuelan who died in this bullshit is on your head. It's on your head. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. This was an illegal act. And you're partially responsible because you thought it was cute to stay your ass at home instead of vote for the community, instead of vote for righteousness. Because the Black woman cackled, because the Black woman did what? Your hands have blood on them. Live with that. Your hands have blood on them. Live with that. Over 40% of Americans voted third party or stayed home. You are to blame. You are partially to blame for the illegal acts and the deaths that happened by the melon felon regime, both in Africa, in South America, and anywhere else this stupid ass asshole has dropped bombs unprovoked. You're responsible. I'm so pissed off right now, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do. All right. Please, let us know what time. Let us know a time when the U.S., in the chat, let us know. Let us know of a time when the U.S. engaged in regime change and it was better off for the people of that country. Why are we talking about this? Because if you're looking for a place to move to, you've got to be aware of international policies, of international politics. You need to be aware. I don't want you to get out of the frying pan and into the damn fire, right? The Terrys know what we're talking about. The Terrys did their homework. They did more homework than they needed to do, but they did their homework, right? So besides post-Cold War, Italy, Japan, of course, Noriega's Panama and Grenada, and then, of course, Germany from post-World War II. So besides those 5 countries, you know we have done regime changes. We've done at least 20 more regime changes since the Korean War. Name any of them besides Panama and Grenada where it turned out good for the people. Let us know. If you're watching from the future, hey. Let us know in the chat what you think. All right, so let's name this accurately, y'all. What we talking about? We're not talking about tough foreign policy, y'all, right? Because they've had a 70% failure rate.
Yeah.
They've had a 70% failure rate in a capitalist society. That should mean what?
You're fired.
He should be fired. The United States should be fired from being the police of the world. 70% failure rate. 70% failure rate, y'all. 70%. And when the government shows you it is willing to ignore international law, bypass due process, and treat sovereignty as optional, you should understand the signal being sent domestically. You should understand what it means. You tell me what you think it means. Let us know in the chat. Okay, we're going all the way down. How far are you going down? All the way down, y'all. I cared what Venezuela was doing, but they were not doing anything internationally. They were just doing things to their own people because they didn't have enough energy, nor time, nor money to do anything to anybody else for the most part. Yes, there was drug trafficking going on, but it was not fentanyl.
No, it wasn't.
Right? It wasn't fentanyl. I don't know what to tell you about George Clooney. George Clooney's now what? A French citizen or some shit.
He lived where he wanted to live. Do what he wanted to
do. Right? Ms. G said he's going after Canada, Chile, Colombia, and Mexico. I don't think Canada, Colombia, you spelled Colombia wrong, baby. Don't worry about it. We did too the first time. Or Mexico. Chile is still going through some stuff. Not like Venezuela. But
you forgot Greenland.
Yeah, Greenland. Apparently he brought up Greenland again too. So that means the Netherlands. That means NATO. but okay. Canada, NATO, Mexico, not, well, no. Is Mexico in NATO? They might be. They might be. It's real easy to talk all that yakety smackety against a dictatorship that doesn't have that much economic power. It's a whole nother thing to talk about you going to attack a member of NATO. I know NATO is not as strong as it used to be. Do they have free and fair elections in Grenada, Pacific Northwest? Right? Like that, we ain't happy either, right? We're not happy either. I think France is always an option. And hey, Jean from France. I think France is always an option. They have some things about immigrating to France are easier, and some things about immigrating to France in relationship to Portugal are harder. All in all, I say it's basically the same. We know folks who have immigrated to France who are not rich, so it's not that big of a deal. France has a lower cost of living, even Paris, than most of the major cities in the United States. So, yeah, I think France should be an option for folks. I'm just saying. I tell you one thing, Ange. As I was saying yesterday, Mexico is kind of considered the capital of Latin America. And a good majority of the major corporations who have headquarters in Latin America have them in Mexico. I don't believe that it will be as easy to get away with this bullshit in Mexico nor Panama, because Panama is now a democracy, has a huge American expat population as Mexico does. See, Venezuela doesn't, right? Venezuela doesn't. And not to say that that makes that much of a difference, but these are countries who are economically very, very stable, democratically very stable. And so it's going to be a lot harder to mess with a Mexico and a Panama, and maybe even a Colombia, but definitely Mexico and Panama in the short term. It really, really is. Tammy says history tells us that it never works out.
Mm-mm.
It never works out, right? And it says USA does this. Remember Iraq, right? It was for oil. No. USA doesn't do this. I don't want to be partisan, but Republicans do this. This is their playbook. This is their playbook. They start an unnecessary war with some country for the oil. They've been doing this for my whole adult life. So for the past 40 years, they have been doing this. Every time they get in, they start a war with some country that has oil to take their oil. They try a regime change, and it always gets us fucked up and further in debt. For the past 40 years, they've been doing this shit. Since Reagan, they've been doing this shit. This is what they do. And then the Democrats come in. I'm not a Democrat. I'm unaffiliated. But the Democrats come in and they fix the shit. And then we start it all over again. That seems to be what the deal is. So she says, but hey, or he says, but hey, no one did anything about it. Where's the ICC? Where was Congress? Hakeem didn't even make a statement. Now, are you talking about Iraq that just happened?
I think he's talking about now.
For the 24 to 40 hours, this is BS. Next to Greenland. Wait, did something just happen with Iraq? Did something happen with Iraq over the holidays or something? Are you talking about a few months ago? when he started trying that BS because of the nuclear arms and and not wanting to, all of that stuff. I'm not sure because there's so much that's going on. I'm not sure exactly when you're talking about, and that's a damn shame. That is a damn shame that there's so much, so much going on internationally when it comes to the melon felon and Pete. His mama can't even stand him, Hegseth, right? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what do you got? Okay, let me grab the rest of this and y'all tell us what you all are talking about. I don't even know where we left off. Oh, right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Let's get this. So we are going to close this out and tell you why this matters, and then go ahead and get to what y'all need, the first 5 things that y'all need to be thinking about to get out of Dodge, okay? And then we'll take some more questions and stuff. All right, let's get this in there. All right. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with what is going on internationally. And this is why it matters for you. This is why it matters for you in Ohio. This is why it matters for you in Nebraska. This is why it matters for you in Houston, in Tallahassee, in Los Angeles, in the Bay Area, in New York, in New Jersey. This is why it matters. Because authoritarianism is always tested abroad first. Always. All right.
International law is a canary in the coal mine for domestic civil rights.
And we've already seen these civil rights going by the wayside, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Nicki Minaj just popped in my head again, y'all. Talking that yakety smackety. It's so interesting to me how many younger Black folks, and especially Black folks who are from the diaspora, but not Black Americans, who don't know our history and have the nerve to open their mouth about anything in regards to racism in America without studying the struggle first. It is just amazing, the hubris, y'all. It's like maybe we gave away too many participation trophies or some shit back in the day, because these mofos are on something.
Yeah.
They ain't read a book. They haven't even studied the revolutionaries from their own damn countries, like a France Fanon or somebody like that. They haven't even studied them. But they want to get up and put a microphone, and once you have a platform and people are listening to you, and then you say some dumb shit.
That's why they put them up and give them a microphone and let them talk stupid shit. They're supposed to be the authority on something.
I don't know.
So.
Because if this executive branch, if the melon felons at regime normalizes kidnapping a foreign head of state, if they normalize this, constitutional limits at home become suggestions, right? They're just suggestions, not barriers. Yeah. We've already seen this. The Constitution is like, it's like a yellow light. Maybe you should slow down. Maybe you should stop. Maybe you should speed up. Oh, you pick. Isn't that how most people look at yellow lights?
Pretty much.
And history shows, without exception, y'all, when the rule of law collapses, Black communities are the first to feel it and be the last to be protected. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's why we need to care about the bullshit that's going on with the Somali community. That's why we need to care about the bullshit that's going on with the Haitian community, with the Latino community, because you look a little Dominican to me. You look a little Venezuelan to me. As a matter of fact, my tutor looks like she could be my daughter. There's no way that anyone could look at her and say, oh, you're Venezuelan and you're African American. No, we look like we could be sisters. Well, maybe my daughter, because she's young. Am I lying?
Yeah.
We look similar, don't we?
Yeah, you do.
I'm just saying, y'all, we've got to stick to, we do not have a choice. I don't care that some of those folks in those communities are stupid. The majority are not. And they realize we've got to stick together, y'all. We've got to stick together. We just came off of 7 days of Kwanzaa where we talked about why we need to be together as a diaspora. Y'all know that my father was there in the rooms as we were rolling out Kwanzaa in America. He was part of the organization that did it. We talked about that. Right? We talked about the need for financial cooperation. And then we get some has-been rapper talking yakety smackety to the modern day KKK about us. We need to let this stop. All right. So we asked you the trivia question at first.
Mm-hmm.
Back in November 2024, did we represent 2-to-1 of the unemployment rate way back in November 2024? Was that true or false?
It was true.
It was true. It was true. All right. The EPI reported the black-white unemployment ratio held at 2-to-1 in Q3 2024. All right. That's according to the Economic Policy Institute. So type exit right now if you want the 5-step checklist. If you want the 5-step checklist, if you're watching from the future, put it in the chat, put it in the comments, exit. All right. All right. We're going to, before we get to the checklist, we are going to see what y'all are talking about. We got to give a special shout out to our helpers, Action VJ and Greta. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for always showing up, always helping. You know, we love you guys. You know, we love you. All right. We see the exit. All right. We see the exit. Yes. Anything that we're talking about, it sucks. It sucks. All right. Hey, RGB, good to see you. RBG, good to see you. CK says some in the diaspora strongly refuse to disassociation with Black Americans. Their disrespect must be honored. Let them go in their ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey. I can't save nobody from themselves, right? But anybody, and I think the majority of them understand what they need to do. I'm sorry, I'm reading your guys' comments.
Like,
I'm reading your guys' comments, you guys. I'm sorry. All right, you guys are talking. Okay, I'm looking for the cues, y'all. See what happens? This is why I need the cues in front of what you guys say, because I'll be reading every single chat comment. Y'all be talking to one another and going back and forth, right? Okay. All right, I don't see any. Oh, there's one. The orange felon is getting rid of dual citizenship. How will that affect expats? He is trying to get rid of dual citizenship. See, some of the things he can do without too much congressional control, especially when it comes to the Department of Defense, or as he likes to call it, the Department of War. Thank you, Dee. So there's some things that he can do without Congress. Taking away people's dual citizenship is not one of them. Okay. For now. So for now, I think we're okay, because I believe that the Supreme Court wouldn't even go for that BS. And oh, by the way, that means his wife has to give up her, I don't know, Slovakistan, wherever she's from, with her Einstein visa, is going to have to give up her dual citizenship. And his ex-wife is going to give up her dual citizenship. And JD Vance's wife might have to give up her dual citizenship if she wasn't born in America. I'm not sure about that, but you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. These people, yeah, there are too many European, like elongated muskrat would have to give up his dual citizenship. Peter Thiel would probably have to give up his dual citizenship, and on it goes, right? These people are not American. All of these people who are buying up American assets and taking American tax dollars to build their personal wealth. Okay, thank you, Benita. I thought Mexico was in NATO. I still think Panama is an option. It's still an option on our list. It really is still an option on our list. Okay, I do not believe that what he did. This is just my personal opinion, based upon me, and being somebody who studied this stuff for a little bit, but by no means anywhere close to an expert. But if we just think about it in terms of who he's picking on and who he talks about picking on and then doesn't really do anything, and then who he picks on and actually does stuff. Like, he picked on Greenland, but when the Netherlands and the rest of Europe was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You see, he was just talk. Oh, we gonna send JD. We gonna send this person and that person to talk to y'all. And don't you want us? And da 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 da. And it didn't go anywhere, right? When he talked about Mexico building the wall and this and all this other stuff, and even the current president, she was like, "F you! No, we ain't doing that." And he backed off. He backed off. So I'm not as concerned with the countries that have been politically stable for the last 30 to 40 years, right? And whom the UN and all of that have, embraced in their fold and all of that. So I don't believe that Panama and Mexico are as vulnerable as Venezuela, or maybe even as a Colombia. Colombia is a little bit vulnerable, not totally vulnerable, but a little bit vulnerable, because they haven't been as stable for as long. Wait a minute. Greta, what you doing? Okay, I see another one. Wait, I see two. Thank you, Greta. Thank you. This is the second donation for this session from Greta Cobb. Thank you. Book, Journey of the Songhai People. Read it. Second part of helping. All right. Now, she didn't need to give $99, but this is part of our scholarship fund. But you all know every single donation goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Blink. If you want a scholarship, if you need a scholarship, you need to send us an email and put scholarship in the subject line, because that's how I search for them. Okay, put scholarship in the subject line. You don't need to give a diatribe of why you need it. I'm going to assume you're a utopian and you have integrity. And if you say you need it, you need it. Okay. And if you don't need it, don't ask, babies. Just pay. You pay over installments and this and that. This is really for people who really don't have the money to do it. Okay. It's for Beyond the Bling, which is our financial freedom program. You guys, I love our community. Do you all think the Venezuelan people will accept the USA governance? No.
Nope.
No. Right now, they're like, this is just according to my tutor, because we've been back and forth. Okay. So right now, they're holding their breath. That's the best way to put it. They're holding their breath. They're not happy that the vice president is in charge, because she's just more Maduro as far as they're concerned. So they're in a wait and see. Okay, what about Spain? Spain has a lot of unused, underutilized land.
Yeah, they do.
Be very strategic when you think about investing in another country. Okay, remember, like if you've got $1 million and you want to spend 10,000 on buying some land in Spain, okay. But if you have $1 million and you need $500,000 to spend money on land in Spain, I would say probably not. Or anywhere at this point. Why? Because it is very unclear, like what is going to happen with Western civilization. And when I say Western civilization, that's Western Europe, America, Canada, not Australia. It's too far away. It's across the ocean. It's harder for that, but it will be affected economically, but maybe not in war directly on their land, right? But what is going on now and how Putin is just filling his stuff and all of this and that and the other, I would be very strategic with brick and mortar / physical assets in certain countries if it was a major part of my investment portfolio. Again, if it's 10%, 20%, okay. If it starts to get up to 50%, I don't know. I don't know. Spain in general to immigrate to, cool. You know, if it feels right to you, do it. We know people who live there. We know Black Americans who live there and love it. We know Americans in general who live there and love it. Anders Vicenten, the Danish guy who told Trump to fuck off about buying Greenland. Okay, yeah. Said to ask the U.S. Virgin Islands how it's going for them. Ooh. You know, that's interesting because when we were in Curacao, the tour guide who was guiding us, and I'd say she was probably biracial or something like that. Mm-hmm. She wasn't white, she wasn't Black, she was just, you know, one of those folks who looks like they got a lot of stuff in them. Anyway, she was like, we're kind of happy to be owned by the Dutch because we're looking at the other islands and the islands who are now their own nation, and then the islands who are owned by other countries. And they're not doing as well as we are. They're not as stable as we are. They're not as safe as we are. And what could I say? I couldn't say a damn thing because I don't live on an island. And though we've been to the U.S. Virgin Islands, we don't live there. So I can't tell you about the quality of life for the average person. So yeah, I don't know. Again, dumpster fire did the cognitive test fourth in 3 months to prove he is sane. Dumpster fire is the melon felon, y'all. But the only time you do that is because you are going insane.
Exactly.
Or you were losing it. Like, why does he need to take all these cognitive tests? Because we all know he's out of his fucking mind and he's losing it. All these bruises and stuff on his hand, and he's slurring and walking crazy and all this other nonsense. Look, I have been in charge of 2 aging adults who were getting and got dementia. I know what that looks like. I know what it looks like. And I cannot imagine, because my dad was about 80 when we first started noticing it. And people started saying, hey, 79, 80. Hey. And the only reason, because he was in good, he didn't eat hamburgers every day and milkshakes and all that other nonsense. He was thin. He exercised and all of that stuff. Certain things just ran in his family, you know, genetically. But the melon felon, I don't know what his issue is. So even we can't even say Panama because they had their growing pains. Yeah, Panama did and does have their growing pains, but they do have a democracy. That's the thing. They do have free and fair elections. That is the thing. Look at all these different colors. Isn't that cool? Okay, let's answer Wink's question. What's the average time to get a long-term visa? Wink, baby, it depends. It depends on where you're talking about because you can get a long-term visa from Mexico like that. Like we got ours in from the time we called to the time we got it was about a month and a week, something like that. Okay. That was then in 2022. And in certain offices, it probably, you will get an answer that fast. Okay. Um, and then like Portugal.
What about Portugal?
We love Portugal. But Portugal has growing pains as well when it comes to immigration. And they keep like trying to uh, change the department and this and that and the other and add more people to this bureaucracy department or that. And y'all, I'm just trying to say our visa has been expired since May 2025, and we still have not gotten the answer on our renewal. Okay. So when it comes to the average time to get a long term visa, it depends on which country you're talking about and what their policies are. Portugal right now is going through huge growing pains, and you really have to want to move to Portugal. I still can't think of a place that I'd rather live, to be perfectly honest. I still cannot. Of all of the places that we've been to, parents, and getting back to my parents notwithstanding, I still prefer Lisbon, Portugal. I really, really do. But Lord, they don't make it easy. They do not make it easy. That's for sure. Am I lying? No, 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 no. All right, let's get to let's put these comments back up, go to the live comments, and let's get to why we're calling 2026 the year of Exodus, y'all. Okay, because Exodus, when we talk about that, we're not talking about running away. We're not talking about running away. We're talking about escape. And there's a difference. Running away means you have a responsibility, something that you are running from, right? We're talking about escape from danger, escape from emotional danger, escape from spiritual danger, escape from physical danger, escape from financial danger, okay? Because the melon felon is really going to affect all of those, right? We're talking about resource management. We're talking about safety planning. That's what we're talking about. Removing your life from a system that is telling you in policy
and practice
that you're optional, that you really don't matter, right? And why would you stay in a place that tells you that you really don't matter? Like if your husband, if your wife told you that you're optional, with you or without you, I'm cool. How would that make you feel? And why would you put up with that? Why would you put up with that? So let's make it practical. If you've already picked your destination or you already have your short list of places where you might want to move, first of all, you need to make sure that you have our Move Abroad toolkit, which is in the description below, okay? Because you want to follow that step by step. It's like a 10 to 15 page workbook that will help you outline your plan to move abroad. Moving abroad is not like moving from state to state. Is not much, much harder, but it is more complex. Okay. So here are the first 5 moves to make real progress in the next 30 to 90 days towards getting out of Dodge. Take your pencils out right now. Take your pencils out, your paper and pen or your iPad or whatever. The first 5 things to do to move abroad after you've chosen where you want is to lock your identity pipeline. What does that mean?
Lock your credit.
Okay. Check passport expirations. right? You want to make sure that you already have 12 months
Mm.
left on your passport, all right? Order and download your birth certificate if you don't already have it. Your marriage or divorce certificates if that's relevant, right? And especially if you have accounts, bank accounts, investment accounts, 401k accounts that only has any 401k is only going to have one person listed, one taxpayer listed, right? But if you're married and if you're claiming that as part of your overall money, you need your marriage certificate, y'all. Okay.
Yeah. Anything also, speaking about marriage certificates, divorce papers, whatever, anything like that, just go on and have it apostille.
Or notarized, at least notarized.
At least notarized, but some countries might ask for apostille.
Yeah. What is an apostille? An apostille is just a government notary. Okay, that's how we're going to put it, a government notary, right? State certificates are notarized by the state capital. Federal things are notarized by the federal capital, okay? Or the federal agency in charge of that. So an FBI background check would have to be apostilled federally, whereas a marriage or birth certificate can be apostilled at the state level. It's a pain in the butt. There are online ways to do it, okay? You want to make sure you have your Social Security replacement plan intact, all right? You want to have your Social Security card, and if you lose it, the plan for that. Well, I'm moving from the United States. Unless you denounce citizenship, baby. And some countries may require you. We have known for people who are applying for a visa here and or a mortgage here in Portugal, they will ask for the United States Social Security card or a copy. Even for the long-term visa, I know that's not on the list. But we know from our immigration person that some of the embassies have been, or consulates have been asking for that nonsense. Go figure. I don't know. You want to set up a Go folder, all right? This can be digital or paper. I prefer both. I prefer a digital file and a paper file just in case I can't get on the internet or whatever have you, right? If your destination requires apostilles, / legalization, start that now, right? Rick just said that.
Yeah.
So that's all under number 1, under getting your documents in order, okay? Getting them in order. Your birth certificate, your marriage or divorce certificate, right? Your Social Security card or a copy of it, right? You can get that notarized or apostilled as well as a Go folder that has all of these things, both paper and digitally. All right. When we moved to Portugal, it was so much easier for Mexico, y'all. And I think it's still just as easy. I mean, they might have raised
I think they raised
the money rate,
portion of it.
but as far as all the other stuff, I think it's still just as easy. If you can qualify monetarily, do Mexico. Mexico does not make you stay in country, and it's a good backup plan. I know Mexico is targeted by the melon felon, but he's been targeting them
Hell,
since
the world
2015.
is targeted by that idiot.
Right? He's targeted the world, right? It's going to be a lot harder to do a sovereign Mexico than it is a Venezuela under a dictator where the majority of the population hate him.
Yeah, because Mexico likes their president.
Mexico loves their president. They're on point. They love their president. Okay. It's a whole different story. So we have permanent Mexican residency. We had a great time this fall spending time in Mexico and eating that good old food and all of that other stuff. All right. So keep that in mind. Don't sleep Mexico. If your destination, okay, we just talked about that. Number 2, build a 2-lane money system at least, right? Your US lane and your abroad lane. Your US lane or Canadian lane or British lane, and then your new country lane, your abroad lane, right? New bank account that is not tied to your current main account. All right. Redundancy matters, y'all. Redundancy matters. We have 3 different bank accounts in the United States. We have our money spread out just in case. And we're moving money constantly because I don't trust, right? If you're moving to a country where the banking structure is not as strong, you can still open up bank accounts in other countries. Like anyone with a tax ID, a Portuguese tax ID, which costs $50 to get, 50 euro, can open up a Portuguese bank account. Okay? So you don't have to be a big baller, shot caller to open up a European bank account, right? You just got to have $100, $200 to put in it, right? And then you can start transferring money. Times are changed, right? You do not have to be Tina Turner anymore to do this stuff, y'all. All right. Credit cards with no foreign transaction fees. This is what you want. All right. You want a bank account with no foreign transaction fees. What are we talking about? We're talking about Schwab and Fidelity. I think USAA. I don't know. I'm not a veteran. And so we don't qualify to get a USAA, but I believe USAA might have a bank account that does not charge foreign transaction fees and reimburses ATM fees. I remember hearing that. Rick's about to go look it up because that's what he does. I remember hearing that. Y'all double check. All right. But in the meantime, in between time, what we do know is Charles Schwab and Fidelity both have banking arms, and they will reimburse you for ATM fees. So when we go abroad, I only get money out of our either Schwab or Fidelity account. That's what we do. And then we don't have to worry about those ATM fees. We don't have to worry about transaction conversion fees or any of that.
USAA does not.
Okay, so it's not US. Fees. Okay, they don't. Okay, so USAA is one of the ones. Okay, so if you're a veteran,
however, their debit cards may have a 1%.
It says may have. Okay, so check that out. USAA for all of you who are veterans. All right. Another thing that you want to do, especially if you are going to maintain some American bills. When I say bills, I mean, bills. You want to automate them. All right. And set travel mode or something like that. The other thing that we did is we froze our
froze your credit.
Our credit. Okay. So this is something that you can do today, because to undo it. So you want to go to all 3 of the things.
The credit bureaus.
Yeah. What are they?
Equifax.
See, I don't even remember anymore, y'all.
TransUnion. And the other is the E too.
It's another E.
Equifax.
Experian.
Experian.
Okay.
The 3 main.
Once you've been gone for a while.
Yeah. I mean, you just go to their website and put in your information and close it.
Yeah.
Or you don't close it.
Don't close it. You freeze it.
Freeze your credit.
And here's the thing. Let's just say next month, look at this travel card that's got all these good perks and blah, 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 whoop-de-woo, and I want to apply for that. You can go online, unfreeze it for like 2 days or even 2 minutes and refreeze it just like that. Okay, so you can unfreeze it while they check your credit to get that card. Boom, boom, boom. It's done. Freeze it again. You can do off and on, off and on, off and on. It's all automatic and it's free. Okay, so you definitely want to do that. Rick and I, not only did we freeze our own, but I froze my mom and my dad's as well, as seniors who, unfortunately could go for the okie doke because dementia. Freeze that credit. Freeze it. Set a target move fund, all right? A minimum of 3 to 6 months of expenses for your destination, okay? So what does that look like? If you are moving to Southeast Asia and you know that you can live the way you want to live on $1,500 a month, right? Where's your phone? Let me get the calculator. So 1,500. Let's see. Where's it? How do we do this? Where's your calculator? Oh Lord, his phone doesn't work like my phone, y'all. Okay. So all right, 1,500 times 3, 4,500. Right, 4,500. So 3 months would be 4,500. That means 6 months would be 9,000. Even those of you who have these nice, glorious, big pensions and Social Security and all of that, and you're getting big chunks every month, you still need money saved, especially if that amount of money, whatever you get per month, is going to be taken up with everything else. You need okay, well, we'll have our monthly expenses are only 2,000 and we get 8,000, so we have da 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 da. Yeah, but what about what you're not considering?
Right.
What about what your unknowns, right? Like, I can tell you it cost 120 pounds per bag, per 65-pound bag, to ship from Denver to Lisbon in 2022.
Sure, that's gone up.
Let's say it hasn't. But the dollar has gone down. So 120 pounds when we were going was like $140. But 120 pounds today could be $170. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And by the time you move, it might be $200. You see what I mean? So you want to have that extra cash for the things that you cannot anticipate. You want to decide your legal stay pathway. You do not want to be on this is number 3. Decide which legal pathway you're going to choose. Are you going to bop around on tourist visas and stay 3 months to a year in each place? Or do you want a long stay visa? Okay, we're not talking about giving up citizenship or any of these things, okay? A visa does not require that. Look at it like a green card, right? As what we would say in the United States as a green card. You got to decide what your legal pathway is, right? Mm-hmm. You can do it as a nomad and do a tourist visa. You can do it as a retiree and get some kind of passive income / retirement visa. You could do it as a digital nomad, right? And have income, but you will have to get some kind of note from your employer saying that you have the legal right to be in that country and still receive income if you go that route. Or if you own your own company and are getting paid by that company, then you could just write the letter yourself. For those of you who got it like that, right? Or there are still countries that do a golden visa / investment visa. So you need to decide which legal stay pathway you're going to do, because I'll figure it out. It's not a plan, baby. And like we said, the average stay for a tourist is about 3 to 6 months. But there are some countries that will allow for a year. Yeah, a year. And we've talked about that in previous videos, right? And a lot of these countries, not in the EU, y'all, not in the EU. I'm just going to let you know. No. But a lot of these countries will extend your tourist visa. They'll double the time. So check that before you go if you want to do the bopping around thing. If you want to be like a digital nomad and spend 3 months to 6 months to a year in different places, if that's what you want to do. There's appeal to that. There is appeal to that. But just make sure that you know what the rules are. All right. So like here in Portugal, the passive income visa is called the D7. Okay. There's also student visas. We didn't even talk about that. There's student visas. So for those of you, there are countries where you can go and enroll in
University.
in a university just to take their language courses, to learn the language of the country, and you can get a student visa. You could go to culinary school and get a student visa. Okay, the criteria is not the same for every country, but you would be surprised how lenient it is. And then a lot of those student visas could transition into another type of visa. All right, another type of long stay visa, like a passive income or a digital nomad slash W-2 employee type visa, remote worker visa. Okay, there is visas through ancestry. We know some Black folks who've got grandparents who happen to be either from a Portuguese colony, like Cape Verde or the Azores Islands, right? And they're getting Portuguese residency, citizenship through ancestry. All right, so that is an option for a lot of Black Americans. Especially those of you who've got mama or grandmama from the islands, y'all get that other visa if you have not already done it.
Check into it.
Right?
Check into
Make
it.
a timeline. Gather your documents. Mark your appointments. Put on the timeline when you have to submit those documents, right? When is your move date? When are you going to enter the country? All of this should be on your timeline, y'all. All right. If you need proof of income, start gathering those materials, or at least knowing how you're going to gather them. Okay. Because they're going to want the last 3 months, maybe 6 months, usually just 3 months. Okay. So you don't necessarily need to gather them now, but put that on your list and know that you will have to gather them for just about every single country's visa that we've ever checked out. You're going to have to show the money. Okay. All right. Number 4.
Healthcare and meds. You know,
you need a plan for
you
this.
got to have a plan. Yeah.
And what else? Because this is up your alley, because you have always been talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and a lot of places do this. Insurances will let you do this. Get a 90-day or max out your supply of medicines.
That's right.
I know sometimes insurance companies will only let you get a 30-day supply, but sometimes, you know, especially if you're moving or doing something that might be worthwhile to you.
And I would
Come out
ask,
of pocket.
right? And I would even ask my insurance company and say, look, I'm going on a 2-month vacation, a 3-month vacation, or this or that or the other. Can you make an exception? You don't know until you ask. If you just say, well, and you can show with a plane ticket or something, right? If you just say, well, you know, I just want a 90-day supply, that's one thing. But if you say, I'm literally not going to be here.
No.
Ask.
I mean, my doctor will write me whatever time I want on a prescription, pretty much.
Yeah, your doctor from the United States.
From here.
Oh, from here. Well, here is different. Yeah.
Doctor United States. Yeah.
The United States has a lot of rules. You want to request paper prescriptions as well.
Yes.
All right. Plus a doctor's letter. All right. And so when we came here on our scouting trip, I didn't have the prescription, but what I did have was the empty bottle or whatever have you. And here in Portugal, it works differently in every single country. Here in Portugal, I went to the pharmacy, showed her what I needed, and she said no problem. She would refill it without a prescription, doctor's notice, it was not like Percocet or anything like that. It was just hormones. So she was fine giving me that. If it were blood pressure medicine or something like that, and I'm out and I need a refill, most pharmacies from the countries that we've been to will give you a refill without a doctor's prescription, but they're not necessarily going to give you a 90-day supply, right? And so that's why you want to make sure that you've got your prescriptions written. They can always translate them. And a letter from your doctor, if you really got those special needs, would not be a bad idea either.
And another reason why you want to have your prescriptions, especially with on paper, I always carry mine in paper and on my phone, is because when you cross different borders, you know, if somebody stopped you and asked you, well, what is that? You know, what kind of medicine is that? And you can't really tell them, they might confiscate it.
And that's not what you want.
You don't want that.
That is not what
So,
you
but
want.
if you have your paperwork, and I've never been asked that question or anything like that, but it's just good to know that if I have to pull out my bag with my meds in it or whatever, it has this prescription from the doctor showing them exactly what it is.
Exactly.
So you don't, it just saves yourself, a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, when it comes to health, this is something that we do not want you to take for granted, y'all. We've got over 400 people watching. I hope we have 400 likes, y'all. I hope we have 400 likes. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up, please hit it so that YouTube knows that this is information that needs to be spread with our community. I am looking through the comments as we talk to make sure that we capture everybody. International healthcare plan. That is something else that, yes. So when you are doing a scouting trip or traveling, yes, you should have travel health insurance, not travel insurance, not to make sure that if you can't go, your tickets get refunded. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about health insurance while you're traveling, okay? And it's always less expensive outside of the United States. It always.
Hell, do they even cover you in the United States?
They will cover you in the United States, but it is hella expensive. It really, really is. Okay, so here's a USAA person say they do not charge for debit card use. So yeah, no ATM fees, no conversion fees. Those are the two things that you want. I'm not sure. Aren't those two tied too closely to the United States? And I'm not sure if you're talking about Panama and Mexico or what. CC, the tantric gourmet. If something goes down, I have a feeling your money would still be stuck. Give us more information, babe. You guys are writing this stuff in real time as we're talking, and we might have gone on to 2 or 3 different subjects since you asked. So make sure when you put your comment in that it has all of the information needed, your comment or your question, to either answer the question or make a comment that makes sense to the folks who are listening, y'all. All right. All right. Oh my gosh, Writer Skater. I was thinking about the same thing this weekend. I'm nervous about holding too much cash for multiple years. Inflation will chew up some of its worth. Yes. Yes. And yeah, look, it needs to be in as much interest bearing as possible. All right. So let's get through this last 2. Okay. So we're on number 4, healthcare. We talked about medicine and we talked about the plans. We talked about your 90-day supply of meds, et cetera, et cetera. So the first 5 things for your move abroad, once you've picked or your country or countries, these are the things that you need to do to get out of Dodge fast. In the next 30 to 90 days, you need to be doing these things. All right. You want to request those paper prescriptions. We talked about that. You want to research how to access health care locally. All right. We've talked about that a lot. Private insurance requirements for your visa, if that's applicable. All right. Here in Portugal, you need to have private health insurance. For Mexico, you do not. Panama, I don't remember. We always suggest if you have special healthcare needs that are outside of the usual, and to me, the usual for older adults is like cholesterol and high blood pressure. That doesn't count. That just does not count. Okay. I'm talking about things over and above, right? Things that take special things that most people do not have. If you've got any of those issues, seriously, folks, we need you to find a concierge or something.
Yeah, if you're a diabetic or insulin dependent or anything.
Exactly. Okay. So here in Portugal, we use Serenity Care. They're a medical concierge service. And I'm telling you, it is invaluable and worth every single penny because every healthcare system works differently. And especially in the countries that have universal healthcare, the system is the system, y'all. And you got to work within the system. Like for here, that means everything has a prescription. Everything. Follow-ups have a prescription. Everything is a prescription. Everything. Everything is a prescription except for the appointment to your primary care physician. Does that mean it's more onerous and this and that and da 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 da? Yeah, give or take. I don't know. It's just different, right? The actual quality of the healthcare, from my opinion, has been excellent. Excellent. I feel very well taken care of. I feel the doctors spend an inordinate amount of time. When you have an appointment with the doctor, it's just you and the doctor. She or he is not running around from place to place to place to place and then coming back. Oh, and then the nurse is going to come in and check your vitals. And then she's going to come back. And then the doctor comes back. And then you're just sitting there, loo, loo, loo. And then somebody else comes in. No, 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 no. That's not how it works in most other countries. Okay? The doctor sees you and only you. And their exam room is right over there on the other side of their office. One exam room, one doctor, one office, and you for the whole 30 minutes or the whole 40 minutes. It's a whole different experience, and you really feel taken care of, y'all. Okay, this is what you are missing out on. This is what you are missing out on. Thank you, Dennis. You guys, 2 in 1 day. I'm concerned about how China, in terms of Taiwan and Russia regarding Europe, are now looking at this. Yes. Trump also threatened Iran if they attack the protesters. But they attack America's protesters. So America attacks its own protesters, but another country better not attack their protesters. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I'm sorry. I am so over this regime. I do not know what to do. I don't know what to do, y'all. Okay, where are we at? Did we go through? We were on number 4, right? Let's go all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, we talked about how to access care locally. We talked about private insurance requirements for your visa. As we said, Mexico does not require, Portugal does. And I cannot give you the specifics on other countries, y'all. I'm not going to even try that. But check it out. It should be on the list on their website, okay? Make a first 30 days health plan, especially for those of us who have special needs, okay? Figure out how dentistry works, because dentistry affects our physical health as well, right? Figure that out. Where are the eye doctors and things like that, right? And then where your primary care, your nearest hospital, and all of that. Pharmacies seem to be more plentiful outside of the United States. I mean, they're plentiful in the United States, but they seem to be like every other block.
The one thing that I haven't seen in different places we've been here in Europe are
urgent
cares.
Yeah, urgent care is not a thing here.
Not like in the United States. Yeah. You don't have you don't have 2-3 urgent cares in a block.
No.
You don't have that.
No. And that's interesting because, and I don't know, it's not like you can get, if you've got the flu, that you can get an appointment same day necessarily. I can't say that. So it's interesting that is a missed opportunity. But they would have to fit that way, especially for those countries that have universal health care. Then that's a whole nother system that they would have to adapt for. And so maybe that is one of the reasons. I don't know why this thing seems to keep us off center like this. Maybe I just need to move it over here. I'm sorry, y'all. We're almost finished. We're definitely almost finished. All right. Number 5, choose your first landing logistics so you do not bleed money. Like we did. Your first 30 days housing plan. Now, if it's Portugal, you know what that's going to be because you already have to have a lease before you even move here. But if that were not the case, what I would do, like what our friends did who moved to Mexico, is that I would have 30-day Airbnb already blocked, right? That is fixed costs. You already know you got your utilities, your internet, your cable, and all of that in that one price, and you don't need to think about it. So even trusted house sitters, if you could get a 30-day house sit, and yes, they do exist. Yes, they do exist. Because I'm going to tell you over here, I remember, there's 2 houses, one that's in Britain and one that's in France, that these houses, oh my gosh, and with the pool and the whole 9 yards and this and that and the other. And the last time they came up, it was for like a month. And I was like, that's not me. That's not me. But if I were moving to one of those places,
Yeah.
Okay.
Save a lot of money.
We have a link. It will be in after we go live. I will put the rest of it in because we do have a link for a discount to trusted house sitters. We've been house sitters for 4 years now, and we have house sat all around the world. All right. The other thing, once you've got your housing together, you need to talk about your phone plan. Y'all, do not be coming out of the United States with that Verizon international plan, with that AT&T international plan. Okay. You're going to get another SIM card. You're either going to get an international SIM card like an lawfare, or you're going to get a SIM card once you get into country. What I would do is I would get 1 week or so of lawfare, HOLA, fly, eSIM card, electronic SIM card, which you can download the information and download the app, blah, 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 and get it together. All right. Do that before you leave to start on a certain date and end on a certain date so that when you land, you've got data that you're not paying an arm and a leg for. You can call an Uber, you can do your mapping and all of this while you go and find a SIM card that is for the locality that you're going to move to. All right. A local SIM card. That's what I would do. You want to make sure you have your transportation plan. How are you going to get from the airport? How is your stuff going to get from the airport to your place or from your home in the United States to here? How's that going to happen? You also need to have
arrival budget with a hard cap.
That's right. That's right. When we say hard cap, that means
I ain't spending no more.
No more. All right.
it.
So you got to make sure that you've done your homework, right? You've done your research and that you've got your plan. If you've got the Move Abroad Toolkit, you know what we're talking about. And every single dollar has been accounted for. Okay. I'm going to let you know that Rick and I went over budget on our scouting trip, especially in Mexico. Why? One of the reasons is because I booked late. I'm just going to be honest. I booked late. And the other reason was we did not anticipate, or I forgot that we still had some stuff to do for our Portuguese residency. And we were in Mexico at the time getting our Mexican residency and working on our Portuguese residency at the same time. Y'all, I know I was trying to do too much.
But we did it so you don't have to.
Exactly. You also, this is part of number 5, you also need to have a plan for loneliness or how you are going to build community. Okay. For those of you who are coming to our meetup in June, you will be meeting with other like-minded folks who are moving abroad, not just to Portugal. Everybody who came to the meetup was not interested in moving to Portugal necessarily. Okay. But they got into community, and those folks are still talking today. Some of them are still in the United States. We've got people in there from England, from Spain, of course, from Portugal. We've got folks in there who are from Mexico, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So this is one way that you can get into community. You also need to find the local Facebook groups, et cetera. So this is not just expat groups, right? This is not just paperwork. That's not all right? Community is very, very important, and not just the locals. Yes, we want to make sure that we're trying to create relationships with local population. It is so cool to learn other cultures. I'm going to tell you, it really, really is. But those local people are not going to be able to tell you, why haven't I heard from immigration when they said X, Y, and Z? You're going to have to be able to talk to other expats about that. Locals are not going to know. Just like if I were in the United States and someone asked me, well, gosh, I haven't heard from immigration and I heard this and I heard that. Halisi, do you know? No, I don't know. I don't know what y'all got to do to get your green card. I'm an American. I don't know. Portuguese people do not know what it takes to get a Portuguese green card. Mexicans do not know right? But other expats know. Other expats know. So you want to be in the Facebook groups with other expats, especially Black expats. Why? Because we're nicer. That's why. We're in the general Facebook groups as expat Facebook groups as well, because we can always learn from other folks. But when it comes to building community, we stick to the people that we know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So 2026 needs to be your year of Exodus. If we did not convince you during this live stream of all of the reasons why it's time to get out, I don't know what else to tell you. Type your destination in the chat. All right. If you're watching from the future, type your destination in the comments. Let us know the country or countries that you are thinking about moving to, and we'll tell you the most common first 90-day mistakes we see for that place, if it's in our top 10 list. If you talk about a country that we have never mentioned, baby, I'm not sure what I'm going to tell you. If you're a utopian legend, we'll drop a downloadable checklist version of these 5 steps in the backstage channel. All right. So look in the chat and in the next 24 hours, and we will have this checklist for you if you are a utopian. You don't have to be a legend. If you are a channel member, we will drop the list. All right. I just got to remember to do that. All right. And as we are closing out, we'll answer some last minute questions, and then we're going to let y'all go. I hope you all had a happy new year. We were able to spend our new year. This was probably our most international new year, where we spent time with some folks who were not American, which was cool. And we spent time with folks who were American. So, all right. Our time. Plan C is niece.
Hard time with BLS appointment.
I think you meant VFS. Did you mean BLS? Is that what it's called? Did Spain not use VFS?
I think it's VFS too. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't remember if Spain uses VFS. So her plan C is Nice. Our friends just moved from Nice
to Spain.
So anybody who is at the 2025 meetup or the 2024 meetup or the 2023 meetup know our friends who lived in France and just moved to Spain, because they come to our meetup every single year, y'all. And we're about to hang out with them in London for Josh Johnson. I am so excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. All right. I know we sound very first world, y'all, but believe me, it's only like $100 or so to fly round trip from here to London. It's just not that big of a deal. In a minute. Okay, that was not new. I was about to say. It is just, South Africa. Okay. Portugal, Spain, Mexico, Panama, Ecuador, Portugal, Thailand, Albania, Thailand, Japan, Lisbon, Panama, France, England, Malta, Portugal, Haiti. Haiti? Really? Oh, that's bold. Are you okay? Are your people from Haiti? And the only reason why I ask is because it always seems like Haiti is having these catastrophic natural events. Like a friend of mine died in Haiti during that earthquake back in the 90s.
You're talking about David?
Yeah, or the early 2000s. Right? It just seems like they're always having some kind of natural disaster. That's why Haiti is an interesting choice. Love the people, love the food, but it seems to be in the crosshairs all the time. I don't know, baby. I don't know. Somewhere on the African continent, a Spanish speaking country. I understand. I understand. All right. Let's see what else. Oh, Colombia, Thailand or Ghana, Florence.
Florence, Italy.
Italy, Florence, or is it Lucia or Luca?
Luca, I think.
I don't speak Italian, y'all. Germany, South Africa, or Mexico, Trinidad. Okay, Mexico, Portugal, Panama, Mexico, Belize. I love it. I love it. Is the meetup for Black people only? Hey, Chantel or Shantae. No, the meetup is not for Black people only. Usually the non-Black folks are married or partnered with somebody Black, but no, it is not for Black people only. If you are a righteous POC, if you are righteous white or spicy white, as I like to call them, you are more than welcome. Anybody who is down with the OBU cause is welcome. Okay, that's how I'm gonna put it. Because everybody who's kinfolk ain't kinfolk. Am I lying? Or am I lying? All right. We'll be having to actually escape from America to a free land. Y'all, she's not lying. Okay? She's not lying. It seems hyperbolic, but you know what we were talking about a year and a half ago. We know what Kamala Harris said. And everything that she said and everything that we said is or has come to pass. And so much more. And so much more. Yeah. So, yes, I pray that you get your approval soon, Benita. I pray that you all get your approval soon. I pray that we get our approval soon, y'all. We had our renewal appointment like the first week in September, over 3 months ago.
September 9th.
Okay, so almost 4 months ago. So if we have really urgent care, what we do is we call Serenity. We call our medical concierge service. Why? Because they also have doctors and like nurse practitioner type people on staff. And so they may be able to get us in sooner, and or they know how to get appointments more quickly than we do. And they all speak English and Portuguese. So that's why we always suggest a medical concierge service. If there is not a medical concierge service in the country that you're thinking of, and you're looking for a side hustle, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity, and all you need is a native speaker to partner up with. There is an opportunity. Okay. Seriously, because I don't know where we would be without Serenity Cares. I just don't know. Like, It's just the system is so different.
Yeah, it is.
The plan says in Harlem, they have 3 urgent cares that are adjacent to each other within a 2-block radius. Yeah.
You got urgent cares every third door.
It seems like it. It seems like, especially in Denver, where we lived. Oh, thank you, RGB the win for our super sticker. We really appreciate it. Again, every single penny goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, which is our financial freedom program for late bloomers like ourselves. It comes with monthly group coaching. So if you need a scholarship, just put scholarship in the subject line. And if we still have some available, we'll give it to you. No sob stories necessary. Inflation is already mean to me as I can barely afford life. Tashika, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. If we were still in the United States, I would probably be renting out a room, y'all. Even though I'm kind of particular about certain things, especially bathrooms and kitchens, but to save money, I would bite the bullet. I would bite the bullet and do it and find someone that I could trust and be okay with. Depends on how your house is set up. But yeah, things are just so out of control that I think we need to be a little uncomfortable in the short term to have more comfortability in the long term. Right? Yeah. Okay. So Allison says, because of this crazy delusional idiot, the melon felon, the world is going to be on fire. Y'all, that's why we're saying, please, please, please remain nimble. Please remain nimble.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've done it. I think we have gotten all of the questions answered, at least the ones that have Q in front of them. And so with that, we're going to let you go. It's been over 2 hours, you guys. We've been talking long enough. All right. If you need additional help, we are available for one-on-one coaching. Sometimes you need your specific questions answered, and you need to talk about your specific situation. We understand, especially for those folks who are trying to, transition 30 years of life from one country to another, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's really easy to overthink it. If you need help, we've got you. All right. That information is in the description below. We've talked about Beyond the Bling. And of course, in a week and a half to 2 weeks, the Side Hustle Challenge will be starting on the 17th. Okay. I think we still have those 2 spots available, I believe. So I don't know, click on the thing. It'll let you know. That information is in the description below. We're going to bring you, if you need another income stream, if that's the thing, if it's like, okay, I got some money, but I want some extra, you need that other income stream, or you just want to make a little money on your passion. We will bring you from idea to business launch to side hustle launch within 10 weeks. We meet every single week on Saturday, all right, for group coaching. And there's assignments every week. And this is not like busy work. This is to get you to where you want to go so that at the end of 10 weeks, you could have a paying client by the end of 10 weeks. Okay. That is what we are offering. That information is in the description below. And with that, y'all, it's going to be Legend Thursday this Thursday. If you are a utopian legend, join us on air and let's talk about all of the stuff that is going on today.
Yes.
And our move abroad plans. We love you guys. We love you so much. Thank you for being in community. Thank you for being our family. And we'll see you on Thursday. Oh, Liz. Thank you. Before we let you go, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. And with that, we're going to let you go. Bye.